your impression of this Houston team?
Yeah, I know everybody wants to make comparison this year, last year. I'll just say that, obviously they've got a lot of experienced guys that have grown old in their program. They're really committed as much as ever to their plan defensively, how they guard the ball on the ball screen, and turning people over, and then, probably as good as any on the glass, on the offensive boards, converting those into points. So it's really important that you take tremendous pride in winning that turnover battle and winning the rebound battle. That's how you win the game. And so those are areas we've got to have great focus. But obviously, tremendous respect for Coach Sampson, their program, what they've done in the league last year and this year. Is they've separated themselves truly from the pack. We know what a great team they are. We're going to aim and set our standard to be at our best on Saturday and come out with a win.
How impressive is it to you that they've been able to come in from the American and, like you said, separate themselves from the pack in the first 2 years in the league?
Well, yeah, they've had great continuity on their team, right? So when they came in, they had a lot of guys that were with them already that grew old in their program, experienced veteran guys who have continued to get better in their program. And so that put them in a great spot. And then they've been really intentional about the transfers they've taken, whether it's a guy like L.J. Cryer, who's an elite scorer, shooter, or Milos Uzan, who, to come in and man the point guard duties. They've found the right guys that have fit into their culture to come in as well. So they've done as good a job as any of identifying the guys that can play for them and be successful.
What about Kurt stuck out to you when he was in the transfer portal?
I'd say more than anything was his character. When I had the opportunity to spend time with him and talk to him, that's what really jumped out. I think overall, Kurt is a guy who, we saw the skill, we saw the shooting ability, that he could score in bunches, felt like his game had a lot of layers and he could continue to take steps from a development standpoint. But I feel like to really understand his journey, where he was at, what he was willing to do, and how he would work, it has to point much more back to his character and work ethic of what he wanted to do and how he wanted to move forward in his career. And that's something that meant a lot to me. I believe the things that he said, and he's done the work that he said he would do prior to coming.
Have you guys gotten any clarity on his eligibility for next year?
Have not got any definitive answer. I think at this point we're proceeding like there won't be another year. Kurt has had 4 years of playing in Division I. I know some of the guys with the JUCO rule have not. Certainly we would love to have him for another year if that were a possibility. But we have nothing definitive, and at this point we're moving forward like that won't be an option.
Do you coach guys on how to communicate defensively with some bass in their voice?
We try to. I think we put a lot of emphasis in, punch in the air with your words, with your voice. I think there's a way to communicate that sends a clear message to your teammates and the others of this is how this is going to go and this is what we will do. And we really try to emphasize that and uphold that standard. I think one area our team needs to continue to improve is that communication piece, but it's something that we're working on every day and we're aiming to get better.
It almost kind of sounds like a quarterback, I guess, when you're talking about voice inflection, maybe even. How much do you think about kind of that aspect?
I don't think about it a lot. I just try to demand it all the time in terms of, transition defense important, ball screen defense important, our weak side defense, rotation, switching, all those things so the offense doesn't create confusion and you don't put yourself at deficit because you're not as locked in mentally and then, communicating that verbally. But it's something that we're aiming to continue to improve. I think with this group, that's an area we can continue to get better, and I'm going to hold our guys accountable to do so.
Obviously the years and obviously what you've seen from me on last year, starting all last year, averaging double-digit points, being on the Big 12 all-freshman team. What kind of progress, I know because he had a hand injury this year and you fully evaluated him, but what kind of jump have you seen him make from year one to year two?
Yeah, he's moving a lot better. I'd say he's done a great job with his plyos and what he's done in the weight room, flexibility, mobility. He's a lot better mover, first and foremost. I'd say number two, his confidence to continue hunting shots, I think, is elevated. We'd like to continue to have him do that, whether it's attack a closeout and rip it and drive it, hunt the three. We want him to be highly aggressive. We've seen some progress there, certainly. And then defensively and on the glass, he's got a lot greater sense of pride in getting a stop, finishing a play on the glass, or blocking out. Those are winning things, and I know that he understands how important they are for our team, and he's put greater focus on it.
How important is guard play in a matchup like this against another team with three high-level guards like your team has as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's about controlling the tempo of the game, making sure that the ball gets where it needs to be, that there's no floated, lofted, careless passes, because live ball turnovers in a game like this are the difference. And so you've got to do a great job being aggressive, but doing so with making simple play after simple play. So we were fortunate last year in 2 of the 3 matchups to be the team that did that. But it really is simple at the end of it. It's you've got to control what you can, and the number one thing is tough with the basketball. Simple play after simple play is the way to be successful, not trying to hit the home runs, not taking the unnecessary risks, and then winning that rebounding battle. So those are the 2 things. I mean, there's a mental toughness and a physical toughness that you have to have with both.
On the other side, Houston's bigs are all just like 6'8", 6'9". I don't think any of them are taller than 6'10", but they're really long. How do you balance, or how do you counteract extreme length like JoJo Togo has, for example?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to get into those guys' body. I think it's being physical whenever you can. It's physical when you screen, physical on seals, physical when you can hit on the board, sustaining a block out. I think that's where it's got to be important. They've got the guys that have really good foot speed and length and athleticism that are great movers, and I think we have some bigger guys that have the ability to be more physical, so we've got to hit first. We've got to play through contact, go through contact. We've got to be physical with how we screen and just have a mentality to us of we're going to be the team that hits first in every area.